All right, here we are, and we are into our master server, and let's see our cubectl, how many nodes we have. So cubectl get nodes. Okay, so I have one master and two nodes. Node 2 and node 3 are the workers. Now you want to see more detail about this, you have to say cubectl get nodes and then O white. So O white is something that you can put with any get command, and it would show more detail about that component. I am putting with this node, so now you see I'm getting what image they have, what is their IP, and other details. Okay, so now here, first of all, I always like to set an alias so that I don't have to type this k equal to cubectl. Now I'm not going to type cubectl every time. Okay, now let's see how many namespace by default we have. Get namespaces. By default we have 4 namespaces. If I want, I can create my own. Create namespace, and let's give a name, take pledge. Okay, all right, sorry. Okay, now if I do k get namespace, right? Okay, so now what I want is whatever new deployment or container or service that I create that should go by default in TechPledge. For now, whatever we do that would be going inside default. So if you do right now get deployment, or let's do get pods, and cube system. So what this one is showing that whatever these pods are, these are inside cube system namespace. By default, pods, if I do, it would show me whatever I have under this namespace. So by default, the namespace is default, and as we have not created anything yet, so it's showing blank. But if I want to see anything in particular namespace, I have to put NQ and that namespace name. So for example, if I do it here, get pods tech pledge, I have nothing in there yet. But what I want now onward, whatever I do, it should take me to my tech pledge namespace. So I have to make it default. All right, so let me clear the screen. Okay, so put all my configuration by default into my namespace, and my namespace is TechPledge. So I'll say K, that is cubectl, and config set context current namespace equal to TechPledge, right? So now, all right, so this would show us which current namespace we are into. So you can create a namespace and get into that namespace. Now, whatever I would create here would go by default into this namespace. So let's see. Though we can start by creating a pod, but a pod doesn't work independently, right? So it's better to start with deployment, and we'll create a deployment first, and then let's see how it works. So let's say k8 deployment. What image I want? I want an image from Hello World, and name I want to give is this tech pledge web server. Okay, or let's make it smaller. KPTS web server. Okay, this one is created. Now if I do k8 deployment, it shows me one deployment, right? If I do k8 all, we would be able to see what all is created when I create a deployment. So it created a port for me, right? A deployment for me, and replica case is one. Now I want to see where this pod is created. So k8 all white. Yes. Now I'm able to see that my replica is created on node 2, and this is the IP of my pod, right? This is the image deployment. All right, let's see if it can k8 all white, right? It's a better view now. So I can see this is on node 2, and this is the deployment. But what I miss here is a service, right? So I want to create a service now. So I say k create service, because without a service, we cannot actually access or publish it, right? So what node port I want to give? TPCS web server, right? TCP 8180. Okay, I don't have to give this because I'm by default there, right? Now if I want to see all, all right, so here is my service, correct? And it is published on this port. Yeah, this is my deployment, this is my replica set, correct? Now if I want to see if it is actually working, I have to take this external IP or the URL, whatever endpoint I have, and I need to check this on here 32195. Let's see. Yes, here we go. So I have this service ready, a full working to Hello World website that we published from that image. Now I want to scale it up. So right now I have just one replica. I want to scale it up. Okay, so let's go and scale up. So K scale deployment replicas. All right, I want 4 TPCS web server, right? So it scaled it up. Now let's see how many replicas are created. You see, I have now 4 replicas, 4 pods, right? 2 are on node 2 and 2 are on node 3. Okay. So here I see Here it shows 4 replicas. 4 is desired, 4 is current, and 4 is ready. Okay. Now clear. Let's go to those pod and see what happens. This is my node 2. Okay. I go there and do docker ps. Now what you can see here is I have 2 containers created here. These are my 2 pods. Okay. And same if I go here in node 3, you would be able to see that. Docker ps 2 are here. Now, as we know that my deployment or my cluster should be intelligent enough to know if one of these nodes goes down, it should shift this container from here or pods from here to node 3. Correct? So let's bring it down. I'm going to delete this. Okay. Off. Let's see now. So I have only node 2 as of now. So it might take almost 5 to 7 minutes to get this shifting done, depending on the size of my deployment. So as of now, we'll see it's still there. Okay, get all. Oh. So here it is still showing node 2 and node 3. So we got to give it 5 minutes. Then we'll see how it shifts. So let's take a break. All right, by the time it's trying to shift my pods from node 2 to node 3, let's see what else we can do. So what else I can do is if I have to get the detail of my deployment. So it's mostly used in troubleshooting. I want to see more detail about my deployment. I can say K, describe this deployment. Describe deployment. So here it would show me out of 4, 2 is unavailable. 2 is available, sorry, and 2 is unavailable. Means my 2 pods are down. Remember one node I deleted. So those 2 pods are down at this moment, and they must be trying to shift them to other. So I have desired 4, updated 4, 2 is unavailable, 2 is available, and here are other details. What's the name, which namespace it belong to, right? What image I'm using here. All these details it is showing up here. So this is mostly used in the troubleshooting. Okay, so as it shows me 2 unavailable, so I don't hope at this moment that it would be already shifted, but let's give it a try. Okay, fine. So you see, I have this 4 into node 2 and node 3 is terminating, correct? So that means when I remove this node 3, my cluster recognized that I have desired number of 4 pods. However, node 3 is down, so it should be shifting this to node 2. Okay. Okay, so next, if I want to delete them, so simple k delete, and what component you want to delete. I want to delete service. Okay, so first let me see all the names. Get all. All right, so I have this service, right? And what if I want to delete the service? Correct. So let me do k delete service tpcs web server. Okay. Now if I want to see this, I don't have service. So if I want to create service, but this time I want to create a load balancing service. So I'm going to expose port 80 to target port 80 and create a load balancing service. So let's do that. So let's do k expose deployment web server name web server. Okay, no, my name is deployment name is TPCS web server, sorry, and then name. What name I want to give to this service? I give it web server LB. What is the type? Type is load balancer, right? Load balancer, and what's the port? Is 80. And what is the target port? Target port again 80. Okay, so I'm connecting port 80 here to the target port 80. I'm trying to open that port. Okay, it has to be okay. So it is exposed now. Let's see. Okay, get all o white. What we have now? I have this, right? And it is exposed at this port. Correct. Now let's go and see. So 31780. Copy 31780. Yes. So now it is coming through the load balancer. You see, TPCS web server listening at port 81 and Kubernetes listening at port 443. Yes. So now this is through my load balancer. Okay. Now I want to delete. So if I do k delete deployment, what is the name of my deployment? TPCS web server. Delete it. Let's see. All right. Now these are also terminating, correct? And this is also terminated.